It is that fairy tale moment for so many women. All eyes are on the bride, and that means she wants to have the perfect gown. I spoke with Beatrice Conley from Unveiled Bridal Studio about where to start.
Okay, let's talk about this. It used to be summer was the time that everyone had weddings.
Yes.
Now fall is becoming a popular time of year, even winter to
Yeah.
have weddings. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this new trend and also what that means for bridal gowns and what are some of the most popular styles and trends right now for bridal gowns.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I think that fall weddings have always been a thing, but I think now with budgeting and wanting to get the best buck, with planning out your budget and making sure that you're getting, the best venues and the best places to have your wedding, you can get some good deals sometimes having your wedding in the fall. And same thing with bridal gowns. I mean, with summer and spring weddings out the way, some of us bridal studio owners are having sales during that time, so you can definitely get some good deals during the fall. A lot of the trends that are going on now with fall is that you could actually incorporate sleeves. I mean, for spring and summer, you don't think about sleeves, it's too hot, you don't want to deal with any of that, but in the fall you could actually do a cap sleeve, you could do a quarter sleeve and just bring in a little bit more style into your gown that you couldn't do in the spring or the summer. Shoes are a really neat thing. I know it's not necessarily the gown, but when you're choosing your gown with the shoes for the fall, you don't necessarily have to wear sandals. You could wear closed toe shoe or even a flat kind of jazzy, bedazzled out a loafer. So there's a lot of different things, even cowboy boots. There's a lot of different styles that you could do in the fall that necessarily can't be tapped into in some of the warmer months.
Yeah, a lot more trendy options and options, like you said, just in general available there in the fall. Some of the other things it's talking about now, let's talk about, advice for brides. First of all, set a budget.
Definitely need a budget. And
Because when
that's
they come in to you,
yeah.
and they just say, I'm looking for a gown.
Yeah,
A lot of times you want to know, well, what's
what
your
is
price
your
range?
budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's normally the first question when a bride books an appointment. That's part of the questionnaire because I want to be prepared for the bride when she comes in. I want to be able to show her first and foremost what is in her budget, and maybe have a few options that are close, to out of her budget that we maybe can talk about in person. But having a budget before you set that appointment, it not only prepares the boutique, but it helps you as a bride feel more comfortable in knowing the gowns that you're going to see.
And does it also it allows you to make the most of these precious bridal the visits to the shop
Yes,
because
yes,
I mean a lot of times you're thinking if you don't tell them your budget and they're bringing out all of these gowns and you're like whoa, wait, you
yeah,
know that's not in
yeah,
my budget right there. So what, like you
yeah.
said, so you can be prepared and make the most of your time there. Another thing that people don't think about also they talk about is being flexible. Like maybe you come in there and you say, oh, you bring this picture, this is what I had in mind.
Yes.
And when this associate sees you, they're like, well, maybe this is another option. But keeping that open mind when it comes to styles and trends as well.
Yeah, definitely want to keep an open mind. The average bride that I have come in, they have a Pinterest board or they've come in with all these different dress options, which I think is great because it does give me an idea about their style. So it definitely is a great starting point. But I think sometimes brides get kind of cornered in on they want a specific dress, and that's hard. And sometimes it's, they'll kind of stick with it until you finally show them something different. But it is good to have an idea because that leads you towards the type of dress. Do you prefer a mermaid dress? Do you like a ball gown? But kind of pinpointing in on specific details, it is sometimes hard to do that. So you do want to keep an open mind about the style that you're willing to see at the boutique when you arrive for your appointment.
And one of the things I've seen too, as people do outdoor and also destination weddings, and I've seen, and you posted some of these too, just really beautiful, but more casual and elegant styles of
Yes.
dresses as well.
Yes. Yeah, and that's one thing about Unveiled that I try to push through my Instagram and social media is that I'm a very eclectic studio. So I just had a bride get married in Hawaii. She eloped and she wore a boho gown by a designer called Daughters of Simone. But like you said, very much different than the traditional gown, crochet lace, which a lot of people, see in other style, but not necessarily in wedding gowns. So, and there's also, I've had helped a bride find a gown that was actually an evening gown and not necessarily considered a wedding gown. So that's part of keeping an open mind and also bringing your vision to the studio and letting us know what you're looking for your special day, because you may not be a traditional wedding dress bride.
And one of the things also, and I hadn't thought about this, but they say, a lot of times brides will come in and they'll say, I'm a size whatever, I'm a size 6, I'm a size 8. And they don't want to, for whatever reason, go outside of that. And you're like, well, if you do this type of style of dress, you
Yeah.
may need this size. So be open-minded to not necessarily the size, but also the fit as well.
Yes, and every designer is different. That's what I tell all of my brides. Don't come in stuck to, oh, I'm a size 8 or I'm a size, 16. Every designer is different. So, and definitely the style that you pick could change your size as well. A mermaid dress, you're going to be a lot more fitted in those curvy areas that we may need a little more space in, especially when we want to dance and have a good time. So you might have to go up a size or two there. So definitely keep an open mind. I love the theme of this interview. It's just keeping an open mind with your venue, with your dress, with your style, especially for fall, because it is a really special time. The season is changing. So why not do a little something different for your wedding?
And again, do you see anything also? We've seen a few like where brides are trending not just white, and we know that they do ivory as well. But are you seeing more of like also some of the color trends in
Oh,
bridal
black.
gowns?
Black is so big right now. I've had two brides that have bought black gowns. So I think that's a trend that's starting to evolve. And also red or like bringing in accent colors like gold, ivory and gold in the gown.